How's it poppin', ladies and gentlemen? ShadowAtores here, and today I'm going to be doing sort of a what-if/discussion video. This video was inspired by a YouTuber called New Horizon. He did a video some time ago about what if the Hokage were in Jiraiya's position against Pain in the Hidden Rain Village, but he said some interesting things about Sage Naruto which caught me a bit off guard. So today we'll be diving into that topic ourselves. So this is what if Naruto went to the Rain Village? Almost. And before the video actually starts, I will be giving context into which Naruto I'll be using for this analysis, as well the circumstance in which Naruto is being put into. So starting out, Naruto will be in base form, with all the intel Jiraiya had starting out the investigation. Furthermore, he will have 2 Shadow Clones prepared to use Sage Mode with. And finally, since he's a perfect Toad Sage, I will be giving him Fukaku and Shima later in the fight. Now, some people, including Horizon, believe that they are some kind of special Toad summoning, but I see no reason to believe Naruto wouldn't be able to summon them, or that they are like some kind of special Toad summoning, as there's evidence to contradict them being unsummonable for Naruto, with Shima not only summoning both Naruto and Fukaku, but also the 3 Great Toads. I'll be giving Naruto both Fukaku and Shima roughly around where Jiraiya summoned them. Now, to start, I can see Naruto evading Pain for some time. Why do I say this? Well, Naruto at this point knows that Shadow Clones retain information, so I can easily see him creating several Shadow Clones to spread them out and gather information. How many is unsure, though the bare minimum is 4 clones. This means Pain has to send Conan after one, and some of his paths after the other Shadow Clones. And I think it would be realistic for Naruto to do this, as Naruto isn't stupid. I see the Shadow Clones getting dealt with pretty handily, which leads to Naruto fighting Conan, and base Naruto versus Conan, yeah, Naruto scales highly above Conan, so I could even see him knocking her out, and this would force Pain to send a 4th path to intervene and save Conan, which I would actually believe might be the Asura path. Now, this is where I believe Naruto runs into trouble. While it can be argued base Naruto might scale above the Asura path on his own, I see him summoning Fukaku and Shima here for assistance, and then when the other 3 paths get involved, I definitely see Naruto going into Sage Mode. And here it's an absolute wash. Why is it a wash? Well, let's scale Sage Naruto, shall we? Now, to preface this scaling, it's not going to be too much of an in-depth scale. It's more just a rough scale of where Sage Naruto should scale. But in his fight with Pain, Sage Naruto was blatantly scaling above all the paths of Pain physically. He speed blitzed and one-shot the Asura path. He sent the Diva path flying with a single kick, and proceeded to one-shot every other path, which means he blatantly just scales above them. So I don't see any problems here. However, the real fight begins when all 6 paths arrive. Now, Naruto at this point would have learned by now that the paths of Pain have shared vision, but would probably be confused at why the other 4 are back. And this is sort of where the real fight begins, and this is where I see Naruto having some difficulty in the fight, as, well, yes, he can one-shot every path of Pain except for the Diva path, he would still find out the hard way that the Naraka path revives them when he beats them. Though I do see this fight playing out similarly to how it did in canon, however, there's several differences. One, Naruto does not have as much information as he did in the fight at Konoha, but he's also not angry, meaning he's not just gonna chuck a Rasen Shuriken at them from jump. Now, I do see this fight mainly coming down to Sage Naruto versus the Diva path, and I also see him having to expend his last Shadow Clone, probably right before he fights the Diva path. Now, the question here is not, can Sage Naruto beat the Diva path, since it's very evident in this situation he should be able to. No, it's more along the lines of, can he beat him before his Sage Mode runs out? And to me, I would say there is definitely potential. Now, since Naruto's Shadow Clones are gone and no longer gathering Sage Mode for him, I would say he should be able to summon at least 2 more Shadow Clones, so probably 4 at most, which definitely puts the Diva path at a disadvantage. And while yes, the Diva path has Almighty Push, I don't see it stalling for much time since it has a 5-second cooldown, and I think Naruto could capitalize on that. Now, some people might say like, oh, he was able to last against 6 Tails Naruto, therefore he should be able to run out the timer against Sage Mode Naruto, right? Firstly, no, 6 Tails Naruto completely destroyed the Diva path, and his only option was to flee. Like, he got hit once and fled towards Nagato to use Planetary Devastation. So no, that's not really a feat. Which is why I'm not sure the Diva path could last 5 whole minutes against Sage Naruto. Now, I see some people arguing for Planetary Devastation, but would Nagato really risk losing the Rain Village over his paths? I don't think so. I think he cares more about his villages since, Naruto's not trying to destroy the bodies of his paths. So I do see Naruto either running out of Sage mode moments after he defeats the Diva Path, or right before, still securing the win. However, I do not see Naruto finding Nagato here. Since he's no longer in Sage mode to sense where he is, now you could argue he could enter Sage mode and find him that way, but there's no basis that Naruto would know about Nagato. So overall, I believe Naruto absolutely wins and survives the fight with Pain, and most likely believes he dealt with the leader of the Akatsuki. But that's just my personal opinion based on what the manga provides us in terms of evidence. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.